Chargers were able to get their first win of the season and keep the Vikings winless as well. They go to 0-3, nearly impossible for the Vikings to make the playoffs, being down 0-3 statistically and over the course of history. And I do want to bring up this last play. This last sequence sort of defined exactly how this Viking season has gone so far. The first play, a beautiful play. Throw to TJ Hawkinson over the middle. Great play. Get all the way down to the 6 or the 7. And this is where I get concerned. No sense of urgency. The clock's at 30 seconds. No one knows exactly what's going on.
They didn't know what they were doing.
Do we call a play? Do we spike it? What exactly is going on? Kirk Cousins is trying to get the play here. Then he's relaying to his team. Now we're at 20 seconds. They're trying to determine a play. Clock keeps ticking. No real sense of urgency. They get up to the line, right? Kirk Cousins in the shotgun sort of has a predetermined idea who to throw to. He throws it into a covered guy. It gets intercepted, and the game is essentially over. This really defines how this Viking season has gone. You set up a beautiful play, and you somehow choke it. Now, personally for me, you spike the damn ball. Screw what Kevin O'Connell says. This is where veteran quarterback leadership.
It was 4-down territory.
If you spike it now, you have about 28 seconds to play with. And if you're at the 6-yard line, that's at least 2 plays. If not, you would spike it so you'd be second down. You're in 3-play territory here, but instead you last until how long until they snap the ball? 12 seconons. Yeah. 12 seconds, and you throw it into a covered guy.
Unacceptable.
That's how the Vikings game ended.
This is what these guys do for a living. I don't know what they were thinking about there.
So I want to ask you the question. At 0-3, is the Viking season officially over?
No, I don't think it's officially over.
Wow.
I think the division they're in, it's got some question marks there with Green Bay's got the new quarterback. And, the Bears, you play them twice. That's 2 wins. The Lions, hey, they lost to Seattle, right? So they're playing the Packers this week. We'll see what happens there. I'm picking them, but not with a great confidence. So I think the division, they should get some wins in the division. They were played over their heads last year for sure. I didn't think they'd come anywhere near the record they had last year this year, and they're proving that now. They haven't won a game yet. I didn't pick them to make the playoffs this year. So I don't think they're as bad as they look. Whether they can claw their way back into it, I mean, the Sunday is a must-win for them, for sure.
For me, just based on history, and I look at trends very closely, I'm calling the Viking season over. Now, I mentioned this during the offseason. The Vikings, they set an NFL record last year. They were 11-0 in one-score games. Right now, they're 0-3. So far, a complete reverse of last season. Now, on that last play, and I'll bring it up one more time. This last play, Kirk Cousins has been in the NFL for, 13 years, 12 years? 12 years. And you don't know situational football. You're waiting for Kevin O'Connell to give you the play or your OC to give you the play. If it were any sort of experienced quarterback, you know you got to spike the ball. You're rushed. If you can't get the call, you have to make up the decision on your own. Instead, you wait till 12 seconds to snap a ball when you had an opportunity to at least save 16, 17 more seconds on the clock. Instead, you throw it to a covered guy, and that basically ends the season for you there. So for me, absolutely 1,000%, the Viking season is essentially over. I believe there's only 3 or 4 teams to ever make the playoffs going down 0-3, and I think there's one team, I think it's the 1998 Chargers, I could be mistaken, to ever win a playoff game going down 0-3. And your schedule isn't that light either words. I mean, depending on if Bryce Young is good to go or not, I assume you're going to win the game anyway at Panthers next week. But then you go against the Chiefs. Then you go at Bears. You should win that. So right now you're looking at 2-5. You're at versus the 49ers. That's a loss. Jordan Love in Green Bay looks great. Who knows about that? Then you go to the Falcons. Falcons, I'm not sure. Bijan Robinson might run all over you.
Sure.
I found it very interesting. I want to ask your opinion on this. J.C. Jackson, they gave him a massive extension. It's like 5 years, $87 million, something like that. He was a healthy scratch. They decided not to play him.
Wow.
So interesting to say the least. I mean, he hasn't been very good for the Chargers last year. He got hurt, but even before then, he did not look that great. I mean, what he used to be on the Patriots, I don't know if it's the fact that Brandon Staley, a defensive head coach, is the one coaching you versus Belichick. I don't know what it is, but J.C. Jackson going from 17 interceptions in 3 years to now looking absolutely terrible and getting benched.
The scheme.
I'm not. I mean, I'm sure it is, but still.
Yeah.
What also I find shocking with the congratulations to the Chargers. They win their first game. By the way, they almost screwed themselves up. Brandon Staley again went for it on 4th and 1. I believe on their own 25 or something like that. I don't love that because that cost them games in the past. That has cost them games in the past. So the fact that they did it again and this time they lost it, you're going up against Kirk Cousins. So maybe you're hoping your defense could hold. But basically throughout Brandon Staley's tenure, your defense has not been great, and you're a defensive head coach. Generally, when you become a head coach, your specialty is whatever side of the ball you were prior coaching. Brandon Staley's a defensive guy, and his defense is the problem. He can't get his defense right, at least with Robert Saleh.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that defense is so poor, right? They have Joey Bosa.
Yep.
They have Khalil Mack.
Yep. They have
J.C. Jackson.
Jr.
They have Asante Samuel Jr.
Derwin James, their safety.
Yeah.
I mean, they got pieces.
They got some names there. Those guys have played well, and Joey Bosa's been with the Chargers his whole career. But Khalil Mack he's a quality guy. I mean, he's getting a little older, maybe, but still, you would think they would have played better than that.
I completely agree. But here's what I'll say. I've seen in a lot of these Chargers losses, people like to pinpoint Justin Herbert as a potential reason for their loss. Justin Herbert has never been the problem with the Chargers. Whether it will be with Anthony Lynn, whether it be with Brandon Staley, Justin Herbert was never there. He's putting his name in record books as the most amount of yards and touchdowns first few years of his career. Justin Herbert's not the problem here. It's really this defense. I believe this defense. I really don't understand how Brandon Staley still is a coach. At least the head coach of the Chargers. Last season was pitiful. You go up against the Jaguars in that playoff game, and you don't put up really any points, and you let the Jaguars come right back in the game and beat you in that second half. It took them one half to go score 24 points and beat you. I mean, the fact that, and I thought Brandon Staley should have got fired, and you come out to this game or this season, your defense still looks abysmal. I mean, something has to change, and I really think that Brandon Staley, I think regardless of how the season ends, if their defense is still really bad and it costs them some games, I would really not be surprised. Hell, I'm probably even campaigning for Brandon Staley to not be the head coach of the Chargers next year.
I think if they don't make the playoffs, he's gone.
Yeah, I would say that's a definite. If they miss the playoffs and Justin Herbert,
I would say if they get into a long losing streak during the season here, I think he's gone too, mid-season. During the year, I think they get rid of him too because of just his past performance.
That very well could be the case. I don't know, but congratulations to the Chargers. You got your first win of the season. Yeah. The Vikings need to, they got to do some soul searching. They're down 0-3. You play a couple easy games now with Panthers. The Chiefs are obviously difficult, but then you go up against Panthers and then Bears. Those should be 2 easy games to win. So at least, going sort of halfway through the year, you'll at least have 2 wins under your belt. But, tough, crippling loss for the Vikings in the game against the Chargers. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.